It's time for the Steve and Kyle podcast with Kyle.
I'm going to post a couple of polls. One's going to make some people upset. If the Second Amendment was so good, wouldn't it be the first? And next...
Oh, so you feel like arguing for the next 7 days.
And Steve.
I feel like that's like biblical time stuff. That's what they would exchange as gifts.
Fruits in the quantity of 3.
Like, I gave you 3 pears, but in exchange, I got 3 pears.
Yeah, 3 pears grown on the other side of the village. Like, everybody's just waiting for the one kid to carve them a head in the shape of a face on the top of a stick. God, gifts had to suck, right? You're getting sticks and pears.
Now, here they are, 2 guys who are living in style, Steve and Kyle.
That was an oldie there, right? An oldie but a goodie.
That was.
Was that from the from last year's Year in Review episode? I think that made the cut, right?
I'm sure it was either last year or the year before our discussion about Easter. And hearing that brought me back, and I actually sent you an email this week, which I can very rarely do outside of it.
Shocked to see it.
But for some reason, to my personal account, I received a update, I guess you could call it, from the Podcast Awards, saying, hey, make sure you get your nominations in and whatever else you want to do to get ready for these awards. And that
when do the awards take place? I know that's a stupid question. Everyone has it marked on their calendars.
You're asking a guy who I think saying skimmed the email is being a bit aggressive in terms of what I did before sending it to you.
Okay, now was that from Todd? I believe his name was.
Was that
Fussy Todd?
Todd was the guy who was sending passive, not even passive aggressive,
just aggressive.
Yeah, just blatantly aggressive emails to podcast hosts.
I was like, "Hey, you big dummies!
Yeah, do this right or don't do it at all." Yeah, it is from our buddy, our friend Todd.
Podcast Todd.
Pod Todd.
I don't know how I overlooked that obvious gem.
You think he's got his own? It's called Todd's Pod.
Todd's Pod with Pod Todd.
So he sent some reminders, and again, I didn't read it. I forwarded it to you.
Which I didn't read. I just looked at a few of the key bold words.
Yeah.
Like, deadline, this year, okay.
But one line I did see was that you can register for as many categories as you want. And that
better believe
sparked the idea, again, that we have joked about. And I think now is our time to make happen in actuality. Mm-hmm. I think we need to nominate ourselves in the religion category.
Okay.
And if they need a buzz reel or some hot clips, we're going to go back and we're going to get the origin of the 2021 Poll Badness winner.
Yep.
Were the apostles known for chiseling the word boobs into rocks. We have to go back years and find the discussion about the big man on the biggest weekend of them all, shooting out of that cave with a jetpack.
Yep. Jetpack Jesus. That's what they called him.
And obviously, biblical fruit trading that you just heard there in the intro. Mm-hmm. I think we abandon comedy. Okay? I don't think we stand a chance. Mostly because we're not funny.
That does make it a little more difficult.
But partly because those type of categories are going to be ruled by people with names, right? Mm-hmm. Celebrities, semi-celebrities, whatever, that are going to get people's attention much more than you or I, even outside of, campaigning here or with another show. I think we should bring this back.
Okay.
And I think you and I need to reach out to, we should go
Pod
to
Todd?
Whatever type of podcast we see. Maybe we go to find some charts, whatever, find someone around us in the category.
We had done that. Yeah, we had done that.
Yeah, we did it with the podcast leftovers.
Yeah.
Pop culture leftovers.
Pop culture leftovers. And then Brian and Chrissy, who quickly decided not to be associated with us anymore.
Well, we never collaborated with them. We were on their show.
Yeah. Were they on ours?
No, we're too big for them.
That's right. We were number 686, and they were somewhere in the 690s.
Yeah, and they're doing much different things than we are, and they're actually trying to make...
Are they still doing it?
I don't know. I just tried to Google their website to see if they have recent episodes. Their website's still maintained. That's tcbpodcast.com. I know Pop Culture Leftovers is still doing it.
Yeah, I see their posts all the time.
TCB is not for everyone, but at least it's free. Rated Apple's #1 improv comedy podcast at some point. Yeah.
Good for them.
They're doing 3 episodes a week, which is, a lot of people would say, 3 more than I would like to be doing.
I would say 4.
I mean, they have professional shoot photos on their website now.
No.
Like, they're taking this intensely seriously.
Should we get some professional photos? You think? We should go to Sears. Do they still do that at Sears?
Okay.
Where you can pick the background?
Is there
I mean, obviously, we both wear turtlenecks.
Yes. Is there a Walmart photo booth still around? Because Sears is bankrupt. Are there any Sears stores remaining?
I know that there's the shell of one close to us. Yeah, I wonder... There has to be the place that you can go, like mall photos. You have to still be able to get that done, right?
Let's see. Walmart Photo Studios, because I think that would be a delightful addition to our social media. You and I. J.C. Penney has some.
Oh, perfect. There's a J.C. Penney 10 minutes from here.
Walmart, I don't know if they have a photo studio there, but we can, again, these are all
I'm
things...
leaning towards J.C. Penney. I want to make the appointment. I want to show up. I want to be able to scroll through and pick the different backgrounds.
These are all things that I think would improve our image.
Maybe we get just a white background, so that way we can
do whatever we want.
Yeah, exactly. We want a Christmas photo. Boom, done.
I think obviously we need to do the thing that a lot of adults do now, which is get the one with the lasers.
Yeah,
to remember their childhood and their school photos. Yeah. But we digress. We got this email from Pod Todd the Todd Pod, or Todd's Pod from Pod Todd.
Uh-huh.
And I think we bring this back. So the first thing we need to do is, it seems like, read the email or just know when our deadline is.
Yeah.
And I think we register ourselves, and then I think maybe not next week, in a couple of weeks, we'll let people know where they can start assisting us. Mm-hmm. You and I need to find someone to reach out to and collaborate so we can take over the religion category.
Okay.
From whichever Yahoo has won that in the years past.
Yeah, we're not coming at this lightly either. If you've been involved in this in the past, watch out.
Yeah. Let me pull up the past winners and get the religion winner from 2022, because I want.
You want to start sending them threats?
Threats.
How about just some gentle trash talk?
Now, let me go through some other categories, because we've long joked about religion, Steve, but I also think, like, the email specified here, and I think that, I don't know if I mentioned this line, you can submit yourself for as many you can register for as many categories as you want.
Oh, good. We're coming at all of them.
But I think we need to focus, because I don't want people getting distracted, going to the website and forgetting which one. So are we thinking storyteller drama?
Boy, if there's one thing this podcast is known for, it's our ability to focus, stay on topic, not meander one bit. What were we talking about?
Storyteller drama is a category.
Yeah, there's a lot of drama that happens in here.
Leisure, no thanks. No. And I think Dad's drinking bourbon. I'm remembering one, I believe.
DDB.
They won the arts category too. So I think anybody who's won multiple categories, you and I steer clear. We're not going to...
I kind of want to go after the big gun.
We kind of did that with comedy. We saw where we laid.
I want to be the little speedboat with a couple of pirates on it, pulling up to the big ocean liner. I'm being like, yeah, that's right. Yeah, we're coming for you. We're going to take over this whole ship. We're building a pirate ship.
I just want to be able to make the top 10.
Even Toby sighed.
Toby thought that was a bad idea. So we are looking at, I think, if we focus in on the religion and spirituality category, and I think that's a wide enough breadth that you and I have a lot of room to play with there. Mm-hmm. Okay, so we are coming for you. 2022 religion and spirituality winner, There's got to be a better name. How to Tickle Yourself.
Seriously?
Good news for us. Their website is not found any longer.
So it's been a rough year.
So
they shut it down. They went out on top. That's BS. That's like when you see the guy in wrestling. He wins the belt and then he retires the next day. You can't do that.
Yeah,
you can't go out with a belt.
A very crappy belt. Because remember,
it makes me hate them even more.
If I remember right, 3 years ago, when we last participated, they sent the email about we could buy our own trophy for being a participant, and it was something like $250, a laughable amount that we were never going to pay.
Yeah.
So stay tuned in a couple of weeks. I think this is it. I think we throw ourselves into the comedy category.
We're in.
But mostly, we're definitely submitting ourselves for the religion category, and that should be our focus.
Okay.
Because I think there's a big area called spirituality that if somebody wants to give us any guff, we can say, oh, I'm sorry. You're telling me about my spirituality and what is normal and what's not?
It's kind of like art. It's is it subjective or objective? Subjective, right? Yeah, subjective. It's very subjective. If I say it's art, it's art. If I say we're talking about religion, we're talking about religion.
I think
I can worship whatever the hell I want to worship.
And I think business, we've talked at length about your...
oh boy, I just had a great idea for a new podcast. Okay. It could be hosted by very religious military folks that are stationed on a ship, and it could be called Warship Worship.
Okay, hang on. So I need religious sailors.
I mean, that's a great name, right?
Yeah, no, I'll post it on the poll. Do you know any super religious sailors that will want to host a podcast?
Called Warship Worship. That's a number one seed. That is a number one seed. Write it down on that document where we predict the future.
Do you know any... Okay. You might think I'm dismissing this. This is one of our best ideas ever.
Right.
And we are filled...
Verbal trademark.
With really good ideas.
On Warship Worship.
Who would want to host... Yeah, okay.
A religious podcast called War Space Ship Space Worship.
This is a moneymaker. Okay? And more importantly, it's something that we don't actually have to physically listen to.
No.
Where we farm out the work. There's...
I'll post it. I'll give myself up for posting it.
Well, we may need to listen through a couple episodes to make sure people understand it's on a warship. So maybe in post we add a few cannons.
Well, yeah, it just has to be done. We'll have to get that creaking noise that out here when you're below deck.
Seagulls.
Seagulls, yeah. I don't know why they'd be down there too, but that's all right.
Well, no, because in my mind they're recording this on the deck.
Oh, see, in my mind they're recording it down in the bowels of the building, so it kind of has that tinny sound. Maybe you hear the guys in the background shoveling coal into the boiler.
Boy, you really want to replicate this room, huh? Force those guys to go below deck to talk about religion.
God, just seeing it typed out. Do you know any super religious sailors who would want to host Warship Worship? It's one of the best ones, right?
I got to tell you, it's our top. It's among our top ideas. And again, we have had some doozies. Speaking of awards, Steve, before we get to...
Are we doing this?
Well, we need to get to last week, which we promised to wrap up, and we already have wasted 15 minutes without wrapping up last week's discussion.
What did we talk about last week?
Well, it's the A-Bit, and we need to talk about the driveway, the new appearance in the driveway.
The sitch, the driveway sitch.
So, but before we get that, while we're on the topic of the awards, we have a box here that honestly could be anything.
I know.
From our friends at Crown Awards.
Oh, boy.
So, it's time... this morning to do a little viewer mail time.
Here we go. Yeah, it's that time of show.
Hey, folks, viewer mail time again. Oh, here's one from Sally, age 14.
It's not from Sally.
Dear Pig.
Steve, I'd like you to do the honors.
Oh, thank you so much.
Because, again, this could be anything.
Okay.
I get to open all the mail over
Pass
here.
that,
so
pass
this
that thing over.
is a nice big box.
It's a little light. A little bit light. I'm a little worried.
And, again, this could be anything. Could be anything from our friend Will Egan.
Let's see. Yeah, it is. Oh boy, it's addressed to Will Egan at the Steve and Kyle podcast.
Okay, good.
Okay, Will.
Maybe next time we'll just take your name right off the
address. Getting a bit too big for your britches there, Will.
Don't need you. Listen, we built this table specifically for 2 chairs. Okay, almost no room. There's almost no room for a third.
Okay.
This is big. I see a ton of bubble wrap.
Lots of bubble wrap. Oh, no, Toby.
Toby's all about the bubble wrap.
No, buddy.
That's some good sound right there.
It is.
I like that.
All right. Inside the box of bubble wrap
is another box.
Please, baby Jesus. We can enter this into religious
now. Do we need to pay someone? Or buy a software and API to comb all of our stuff anytime we say Jesus? We just pull those segments?
Yep. Yeah, I mean...
I don't know if we need a sizzle reel.
Inside the box, more foam.
Man, they are really worried about safe transit, aren't they?
I respect that, I gotta say. Okay, now, after this next layer, we might be down to only one more layer of wrapping.
Oh, I recognize that shape, Steve.
I recognize that shape, too. Looks like the big building downtown here. What do you think it is? Are we ready? Should I just rip the Band-Aid off?
Rip it off. Let's get this over with.
Okay.
I'm not happy about it, so...
Okay, the Steve and Kyle podcast Pole Badness Tournament 2023 winner is Kyle, just a bag of used parts. Look at that. That was the number 6 seed in the What the division. Looks nice.
Wow. I guess I'm honored to be up there. I now join Annette and Steve.
Do you want to come over? Would you like to... This is the equivalent of you pulling on the rope that pulls the banner down that shows your jersey retired in the rafters.
Right.
Or pulling on the rope that lifts your jersey up into the rafters.
And much like everything else, I'm assuming that jersey would be then, once the cloth comes off, upside down. Like the current jersey.
Exactly. That's how we do it around here. So here you go. I'd like to present this to you. Congratulations on the big win. It was a long season, hard-fought battle, but you prevailed. So just toss that up there. Oh, look at that. I mean, it matches perfectly. You're just taking it in, aren't you? Just staring at it.
Okay. I'd first like to start off my speech by telling everyone to F off. Everyone who voted. This tournament wasn't even close. It was...
bold strategy.
There were some close matchups, but literally every opponent that this poll ran up against was bulldozed.
Steamrolled.
Including the very last one, which I don't even remember the details, that included you. It was a direct Steve versus Kyle competition to wrap up Poll Badness 2023, and it was not even close. It was something like 90% voted for me. Because
I thought it was 91-9.
At that point, the train had left the station. Mm-hmm. And when the train leaves the station for this listening base...
it doesn't turn around.
It does not turn around. There's no e-brake.
No.
So this train, to make me upset, reached its destination handily.
Yeah.
So to hell with each and every one of you.
Still going as far as we know.
Yeah, at this point it's a runaway. At this point it's a runaway train. Well, when we enter the decision down in the Planning Pagoda next year, I will do my best, much like jury selection, to issue blanket removals of all Kyle-based polls.
Quick update. On the most recent poll, do you know any super religious sailors who would want to host warship worship? 100% no at this point. Well, after one vote.
Well, this is much like, would you like to listen to Friday Flashbacks? That came back like, no, I'm good. So, thank you very much to Will for getting that to us. I incorrectly attributed that to our former friend, can't be a friend any longer, Zach Ruddick.
Yeah.
But that was very obviously our friend Will Egan, who has sent those each and every year.
Thank you, Will.
Those are certainly something.
I love how he just, no doubt, saves the template in the account.
Yeah.
Logs in each year, changes the year, bumps it up one.
Yeah.
So same font and everything, man.
It is.
It's beautiful.
It does. Beautiful. Now that I look at it from here, like Pull Badness Tournament looks a little too small in the 2023 version. It looks like the sizes of the Steve and Kyle podcast and Pull Badness got swapped. So, Will, come on. If you're going to be a part, again, that's why this table is meant for 2 chairs. Mm-hmm. Because obviously that third chair would just be some bucket that Will would try to sit on, but it'd be upside down, so his butt would fall the way in between. His legs would be over his head, and he'd kick a shoe into the ceiling. That's what you did with this award now, Will.
You just made it... You made a mockery of it, of something very serious.
So now we're going to need, obviously, an updated version. Please don't. I'm joking. Please don't.
Just make it good in 2024.
I expect 2024 to have some, gold speckle in there, maybe.
Fast forward 12 months when we get it and it has gold speckle in it and we wonder why, and then we get pissed at Will.
Yeah, I'm going to say this looks like garbage and I don't want one with a gold speckle. Obviously, platinum.
While we're on the subject of viewer mail time, this was not sent in the mail, but this was handed to me directly on Friday in Portland, Maine, when the side gig was there visiting. And
Gateway City.
The city that never sleeps, they call it. Scott walked up and he said, "Hey, I got something for the sticker wall." I said, "Oh, beautiful." So he gave me 2 stickers that say, "I just played at the play lot."
Okay.
Now, I did ask him about it. I don't remember exactly what he said it was. I thought he said it was something that him and his wife were involved in.
Oh, very nice.
And so I grabbed those stickers. Do you want to do the honors? Because
listen, normally I would say yes because I like the attention. Mm-hmm. But with that sticker wall, and I don't know if I told you this in public, you have done an immaculate spacing job.
Can't be said enough.
Because it seems like you can spot where to balance it and where to leave room for a different sticker. That the next sticker we happen to get is the perfect size for that gap.
It's basically Tetris to me.
We could do this off air. These 2 off air.
No.
You want to do them right now? Okay.
Yeah, I'm going to do them right now. If you refuse to, I will absolutely do them.
Speaking of the live shows, we not surprisingly Sleep at the Wheel, Miss in Portland, Maine with the Kyle Fathead, but we are not going to be asleep at the wheel for this upcoming Friday's live show, at least the morning show, in Harris, Michigan, the UP, the great up north yonder is what they call it here in Michigan. So that will be at some casino up there. But yes, if you're going to be in there, make sure to seek out the Kyle Fathead. Our friend Mark Calhoun is going to be carrying that. I believe, I don't know who his friend is who comes with. He's another listener. I apologize. You don't make yourself known enough, so that's your own fault. So that'll be at minimum at the morning show. I do not know if Mark is going to be at the night show there. So that'll be in Harris. So when Steve gets back, I believe the Harris show is the last one for a month, which gives us plenty of time to get it ready for wherever you're going to be in June,
Green Bay.
Means we will then forget about it come June. Yeah. So you were in Green Bay in the middle of June, right?
Green Bay, yeah, early to mid-June, I think.
So we are putting the call out now to the Green Bay listeners.
Let's see. We are in Green Bay on Friday, June 16th for a morning and a night show.
Perfect. June 16th. Green Bay, Wisconsin. Mm-hmm. 2 shows. If you are in the area, if you're going to commute to the area, I believe our friend Timmy and Mike may be going to that show. They may have just mentioned Kokomo.
Yeah,
okay.
They're usually there.
But if you are a local, and I'm not saying this to disparage anything Mikey and Timmy are doing.
No.
But if you're local to Green Bay who has not held the Fathead before, you would then jump to the front of the line for that show.
Mm-hmm.
So please, if you're in the area, we'll make a post on social media coming up as well in coming weeks, a little closer to showtime.
Yes.
If you'd like to hold the Kyle Fathead, please let us know.
Loud and proud, though. You got to hold it loud and proud.
Yeah, if you're filled with shame, this is not the
Understandable.
job for you. I don't blame you.
Totally understandable.
Yeah. Please let us know via DM or message on Facebook, Twitter, or Instagram at Steve and Kyle.
Yeah.
We have a few things we needed to get to today because it's a big episode that comes up once a year, but we need to wrap up what we talked about last week.
Mm-hmm.
The driveway situation.
Yeah.
And we left off with, to nobody's surprise, a sidetrack, a bit of a digression, talking about Annette purchasing her new car.
Yeah, she did. Yeah.
And that was earlier this spring. But that was not the only new car in the Steve family house in the past year.
No.
And to recap, I have known about this since last June.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think I was supposed to know, but I knew about it. Mm-hmm. And I was waiting for you to bring it up to see how, because I kind of figured that's what was hidden, whatever. But now, last few weeks.
How did that, let's see. So how were you made aware?
Oh, your friend who helped you get ready for it was drinking and told my brother who told me.
My friend who helped me get ready for what?
Installed something in your garage for it?
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Okay. So that's got to be
Seinel
and Ryan Young, of course.
Yep. And I got to my brother who immediately said, do you know about this? Because at that point, why would he know? Because we hadn't talked about it, that it was some... That you had not openly discussed it.
No. This so yeah. Well, because I figured that the Town Drunk Rusty would have spilled the beans. Town Drunk Rusty.
I didn't know Town Drunk Rusty knew.
Town Drunk Rusty knew nearly from day one.
Town Drunk Rusty.
Yeah.
Fort Knox.
Look at that.
With the secrets.
Look
How about
at
him?
That. Look at that. And then I thought for sure that that your lovely mother would have said something.
No,
because I last let's see, a couple of months ago was driving I had picked up Evelyn after school. We had gone to eat lunch and then had to stop at the grocery store to pick up some groceries. Pulled in unknowingly.
Sure.
Like right next to your mom. Popped out of the car and
there she was.
There she is. There's Grandma Jane.
I'm surprised you somehow made it home I figured she'd still be talking to you.
We had a lovely conversation. She gave my daughter some candy.
Of course.
Because, like any good grandma, always has a bag of candy on her.
That's my son. Every day he comes home from her house when she watches him.
Just handfuls of
somehow
candy.
Bags of candy or a bucket of ice cream.
That's a good grandma right there.
Last week was, or I think it was last week, was an ice cream cone and an ice cream sandwich in a box to put in the freezer. So, yeah,
you can't ask for a better grandma than that.
That keeps up the candy output to the point where now on the holidays that are kind of known for candy, she's dialed it back because she's like, oh yeah, he's got a ton of candy.
Yeah,
I know. Who could possibly guess?
I know. That's kind of the same here. Evelyn has it's like an orange bucket that she used for trick or treating, and it has the little jack-o'-lantern on the side of it. Well, we get candy so much from Nima and Grandpa that the candy bucket, like today when we eat dinner, she'll say, can I get something from my Halloween bucket?
Yep.
Because it's just in the pantry, filled at least halfway at all times because there's so much candy.
Yeah, we have the Halloween bag.
Yeah.
That we just add stuff to it. So we add the Easter stuff to it. We had the Valentine's Day stuff to it.
By the way, I can't stop playing with that foam. It's just give it a feel. It's nice. It's a nice bounce back.
That is because it's not too smushy.
I'll take it back.
It's got some firmness to it. That I like about that foam.
Boy.
So how do we want to? Do we just want to rip the Band-Aid off here and just let people know, and then I can ask you the questions about why it was hidden?
I don't know.
It's up to you. If this is something you don't want public for whatever reason,
I'm a little self-conscious, a little nervous.
Has that changed in the last year?
No.
So you were self-conscious before?
Yeah. Well, at first it was.
Act like you're the only one around here with it.
At first it was 100%. I'm going to hide this from Kyle because it'll be fun.
Got it.
And because you'll, do what you normally do and just poke holes in any good points I make. And
I'm just a guy with questions.
and mock me. And then once it got a couple months in, I was like, this is kind of fun. Because I knew that your interest was piqued by the garage door being closed. And I remember one day specifically you said, I know something's going on in there.
Yeah.
And I need to know what it is.
Yeah.
So that was that was when we went into full lockdown mode. And the only thing that stopped that was, I think it was like a month and a half ago. I just forgot to make sure that the cars were in a certain order. Mm-hmm. And I knew that you were going to be there in about a minute. And I was like,
too late.
Well, I guess the Band-Aid's off.
Did you think about telling me, hey, could you do a lap around the neighborhood first?
Calling down to the front gate.
That's right, obviously. Call the butler.
Yeah, telling Griff to really, really grill you before coming in. Asking for a more current ID or something.
So I'll let you decide how then we want to.
Yeah, I don't know.
Because we have to give a little something now that we've talked about it for 2 episodes.
Do we?
Boy, it'd be.
There have been a lot of things where we've brought up, like, we're still waiting to hear that Vegas story.
This is.
Do you even remember the Vegas story?
I'll never forget the Vegas story.
I think that was one of the first teases. I remember teasing the Vegas story in APS 2.0, which was episodes like 30 to 50. And we are, as we sit, this is episode 366.
Still wait. But we have to give, this is the carrot that... Are there any other reason? Is there a reason that you can describe that you are self-conscious about this that you don't want out there?
Perception.
Okay. And you just think it's overall so negative that you just don't want to have to deal with any possible ramifications.
Kind of, yeah.
So I'll say this: this is something you have talked about,
right? I think I just. At some point, I think I realized, and I go through these phases every now and then, where because of my job and this podcast, I feel like we reveal a lot. We talk about our lives, obviously, a lot. We reveal a lot of details, and I don't know. Sometimes I think like I don't need to tell people everything about me.
Well, the discussion of your lineage, your car lineage, has been ad nauseum on this podcast.
Yes, ad nauseum makes it sound negative. I feel as though it's been a very, very positive.
Is ad nauseum negative, though? Because in my mind, ad nauseum is just a lot.
Well, when I hear the term ad nauseum, I hear it in my mind as ad nauseum, and that's negative.
Right, ad nauseum could be construed as more of a sigh, like, oh, here we go, ad nauseum.
Oh, actually, okay, so this must be a common topic because I typed in is ad na, and I got is ad nauseum good, is ad nauseum rude. Mm-hmm. Let's see, maybe put it on the poll.
Is ad nauseum negative? It's already up. I did not mean it with a negative connotation that time. I'm sure at other times I have. We've talked about the Comanche. A lot of people would say that's ad nauseum.
Ad nauseum is a Latin term to mean to sickness, and is used in a figurative sense to point to a disgusting or ridiculous degree. It generally means that something has been repeated so many times that one has become literally sick of it. So, sure sounds positive.
Yeah, I'm going to stand by it. Well, okay. Are there any?
I don't know.
Are there any breadcrumbs you can leave for people then, so we don't leave just an entire loose end here?
I love it.
Okay,
it's
You're
wonderful.
Happy with your decision?
Yeah, I went outside of the normal Jeep truck mindset for this one.
Yeah, and as the poll decided, you are still allowed to be declared a Jeepsman in absentia.
Yeah. By the way, the person who revealed to your brother got a little bone to pick with him now.
Oh boy. Well,
Yeah.
I did not mean to.
The rift has been rifted
for this reason.
Oh, absolutely.
Okay, because let me tell you that me finding out that way was merely a precursor, because due to the Facebook algorithm, I would have known days later.
Okay.
Based on you searching in different groups for different
parts and things
that for some reason
it is
would
weird.
pop up on my feed. Not a group I'm in, not a group I would ever join, because I have no relation to that type of group, from somebody who's not very active on Facebook. So it's like,
it is weird how that happens. Every now and then I'll see a post that you made in a group about, like, there was one, it was like a comic book group or something, where somebody posted something and you obviously just threw them directly under the bus. Because it was probably a very, very dumb question about
wrong.
Mickey Mouse episode or number 14.
Listen, some of the old Mickey Mouse comic books are very valuable, so that is not entirely incorrect. But yes,
this vehicle was purchased in December of 2021.
Okay. And that tracks with what I now know about this, because, like I said, I was told in June when this person assisted you, after this person assisted you, and then I started seeing these things on Facebook of you looking for stuff. Mm-hmm. So, is it safe to say today you bought another murder vehicle?
In your eyes, absolutely.
Oh my God. Another poor family of four. Coming home with their new puppy.
Oh, they had a puppy.
The daughter in the back. Mm-hmm. With her best friend, her hamster, Ralph.
Mm-hmm. Ralph the hamster, yeah.
And
you still smell him when you open the doors.
One big smack later.
There's actually a dead hamster impression
on the windshield?
on the headliner.
Yeah, you had to replace a hamster-sized hole in the front windshield.
I did have to replace the windshield.
I'm not surprised. Multiple heads projected through there.
Do you want to know exactly what in seriousness, I can tell you what the damage was, which you will hear, and then immediately push to the side to continue your narrative.
Yeah, no, listen, I'm happy to hear what you say is the damage, now that we all know what most of the damage is.
This was simply a hail-damaged vehicle.
Okay.
It had been in a hailstorm. I needed to replace 3 pieces of glass.
That was it?
That was it. And then, it's a white vehicle, so for the first couple months, it kind of looked like a golf ball. It had plenty of little dents and dimples in it, but those have all been taken care of. But
in terms of body work, so you replaced some of the body itself as well?
Yeah, I ended up replacing the hood because I just happened to find a very good deal on one that was already the same color.
Because the hood's where the dog landed, right?
The hood, yeah. No, the dog actually flew over the hood, landed in front of the car, so then the car ran it over.
So this is one of the family members that dented the hood.
Yeah, exactly. So, then I know somebody who does very nice body work and was able to get 99% of those dents out.
Just popped them out and replaced what you had to. So it is, as of today, you would not be able to tell this thing had been involved in multiple deaths and or hailstorms.
No. I could, if we walked around it, I could point out a couple of the dents that didn't come out as good as we had hoped.
Okay. But you're okay with it?
I'm good with it.
You're happy with how it turned out and everything? Okay.
Love it.
Wow.
Love it. It's
I just can't believe you actually got rid of the family Jeep.
By the way, that one...
2 families Jeeps.
So
souls are still in there.
Right.
From the deaths.
Yeah.
In Louisiana.
Hope they're all right.
Yeah, the swamp deaths had an odor to it.
So the friend, though, Cy Nolan Ryan Young,
yes,
he helped with something right when I first got it, and then the more we talked about it, because he made fun of it a lot. He was like, "This thing,"
which is funny now.
What are you going to do with this? Because he now has the exact same vehicle.
Yeah, I've noticed.
Exact
Saw him at poker a week and a half ago, something like that. Noticed that, which I'd seen before. So yeah, it's listen, the hive mind is strong.
Now, that was a whole process because we had originally purchased that one.
Did he also search local obituaries for well-to-do families in other states?
Yeah, looking for widows. Just need to get rid of it. Only driven to church on Sundays.
He's got 40 locals, newspapers, physical newspapers, right? And he's going through and looking for like names, three or four of the same, knowing, aha, that family, all of them are gone. Now I can look at what vehicle they drove and see, who's selling it.
Yeah. So last summer, we started doing a little casual searching, thinking because last year
a little revival, second chance Jeeps.
The market, the used car market, was ungodly last year.
Yes,
you could sell things for more than you bought them for,
which is what you talked about.
So we thought, hey, if we could pick up a car, we split the cost of it. Like we did with the Jeep, the black Jeep a couple of years ago. We'll pick this thing up, fix it, flip it, make a couple grand each off of it, and then we did that. So we purchased. It ended up being literally exact same vehicle as mine.
And was this one of those also that you've done in the past where they had to trailer it from
this
state
one,
type of
we
thing?
We bought this from 45 minutes away.
Okay, so you went and got it.
It was the same thing. It was an auction vehicle,
Perfect.
But the auction just happened to be at the yard closest to us.
Saved a bunch of money on the shipping.
Exactly. So we went, picked it up, brought it back to my house. Mm-hmm. So at that point, that was the point where I thought, oh boy, this is the news is going to get out, because at that point I had 2 matching vehicles and a Comanche
right
in the garage.
Gotcha.
Not easy. 2-car garage. Managed to fit 3 cars in there,
which you've long claimed you could.
Exactly. You absolutely could. So we assessed all the damage, took all the bad parts off, ordered up a bunch of new parts. And then old Cy, he kind of went radio silent for a couple of months.
Okay.
And so
you just had parts.
Well, it was at the body shop for a little while, getting some stuff taken care of.
Got it.
And it was kind of we had told the guy at the body shop, we're like, yeah, just work on it when you have time. So it took probably a month for him to do it. And in that time, old Cy lost interest. Because I was talking to him one day and I was like, boy, I kind of get the feeling that you lost interest in this. Ha, 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 ha. And he replied and said, yeah, you're absolutely right. I did.
Ooh.
I was like, well, you better get some interest back, because we both have money invested in this.
Yes.
And I kind of want to get mine back. And, so let's do this.
Back on board.
Like, either that or I'll buy you out. Mm-hmm. It's not ideal, but I'll buy you out.
You now have 2 of the exact same.
Right.
You're essentially running a mini dealership.
Right, which is not ideal. Yeah. But at that point, the market was still really good. Mm-hmm. Really good.
So you were already seeing initial expense, because obviously, a few bucks here to buy them out. But then obviously your pupils turn into green dollar signs.
Yeah. But I'd be lying if I said I wasn't worried at this point. So I thought, okay, I'm just going to take the ball and run with it. So I don't think that he would disagree that I then did the majority of the work to get this thing back together. He helped with a couple of things. It had to go to the shop to get an alignment, things like that. Get a couple of new parts that he installed at his house. But I did the lion's share of the work of it on it, and I'm not worried to say that, because again, he would absolutely agree with me. And then right as we finished it, the market absolutely fell out.
But the goal wasn't to sell this, though.
No, the goal was to sell it. There was never a plan that we were going to keep this.
Both of them.
Right. Mine was...
I guess I misconstrued. I thought you said he was so happy with your progress and how it went with you that he liked it enough that he wanted one himself.
No, I think initially he he just wanted it was an investment. Let's flip this, make a couple bucks each. This would be cool. Maybe if we do this once or twice a year, we can each have a little bit of supplemental income. And so after we finished it up, and it was I remember like reading a news headline that said like the market for used vehicles has absolutely crashed. And boy were they right, because I posted it for sale and got no bites on it whatsoever.
You posted like the typical avenues, right? The marketplace, the whatever groups you're probably in at that point. Okay.
No interest whatsoever. And then he started saying, "Oh no, maybe I'll buy it." And I was like, "All right, well, if you want to, let's work something out." And then we were way apart on
cost or price
on what the cost should be, because I thought like, well, I did a lot of work to this, so there's value in that. And I eventually just said, all right, because he offered something lower, didn't budge on it, and I eventually just said, fine, whatever, just give me the money. And
just to get it out of your garage.
So I made a little bit off of it.
Okay. But overall, considering your time investment in it, would you personally consider it a loss?
No, I'm not going to consider it a loss, because if it was something that I didn't enjoy doing, then yes, it's a loss. But I enjoy working on vehicles. So
is it safe to say that this is the reason the Second Chance Jeeps channel for quite a while took a real backseat?
Yeah, a little bit. Yeah, because there just wasn't room or time to work on it.
So now you're officially back in Manchi mode?
Back in Manchi mode. I was working on it last night.
Good. I'm not going to ask you details.
Oil pan gasket. Yes, thank you for asking.
Very specific that I was not going to ask you.
Oil pan gasket got replaced. It was the valve cover gasket a couple weeks ago. The oxygen sensor, so I don't got a check engine light anymore, or a CEL, as those in the know call.
Of course.
So there we go. Now we're all up to speed.
As up to speed as you're willing to get. Now, do you think there's going to be a day or something that'll come along where you'll be happy to discuss it openly about what it is, how you came to the decision, all of that stuff?
Perhaps.
Okay.
Perhaps.
Well, I hope so. I feel like we're leaving a real big pool of feces for everybody tuning in right now, in terms of trying to wade through it to see,
Yeah, well,
the light outside.
Like I said, it's not all mine, or it's not all everybody else's.
Well, I'm glad you're so proud that can't discuss it openly. I understand to a degree. I understand
to a degree.
Yeah, I would argue the last year probably could have shaped that for you. To if I had asked you, if I confronted you with this a year ago, do you think at that point maybe the excitement overtakes you and you'd have been more open discussing it then?
Yeah.
Because of the new car excitement. It doesn't matter what the car is. If you get a new car, you want people to see that and talk about it and all of that.
Yeah, it's changed though with me. It's one thing it's one thing like with the Comanche, obviously, because it's like, I don't know. Obviously nobody's bragging about that thing.
Yeah. Could we flip your excitement then? Because well, okay. Maybe someday.
Maybe
someday. Maybe we'll drop in a little sprinkles.
A little carrot here and there.
And then you can kind of deduce on your own what you think. Steve, I wanted to ask you, because this is we do got to get out of here.
Yeah.
This is a very important weekend, because we are we are in now Phase 5.
Whoa, of what?
Of the Marvel Cinematic Universe. And I have neglected, because I remember weeks ago you had told me you were getting to it. Weeks ago, you were finally getting around to Marvel's The Eternals.
Yes, The Eternals, of
course. Which you have been stuck on for quite some time. So I am glad to finally...
a couple weeks I've been stuck on it.
Unsticking this jam so we can finally get you launched into the next series of movies and get you back on track. Because this weekend, the final chapter of the Guardians of the Galaxy trilogy, which you are, I believe, middling on. I'd have to pull up your reviews.
Oh, I think I liked all of the Guardians of the Galaxy.
Yeah, and I apologize for not having this open. I'm embarrassed. I obviously should have had this open.
I thought you'd be ready.
Because Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 3 comes out today, or this weekend, which is the big again, the conclusion of the Guardians of the Galaxy trilogy. The director, who was fired after number 2, was brought back to do number 3 years later, but is now the head of DC Universe movies. He's manning the entire ship over there. So this is it. In terms of...
So he's doing both?
No, he did this and then took the job at DC.
Oh, okay.
So he is officially done with Marvel.
Okay, so you can't do both, huh?
He probably could. Actors have done it, but he said, I mean, that's a CEO type job, and he said, yeah, I'm done. I'm not doing this. There's no need to. He's done. Mm-hmm. Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 3 comes out, so Steve, finally, after so many weeks of missing it, your official review.
Here we go.
Your 1-minute Marvel movie review, Marvel's The Eternals.
Boy, we just do not... I mean, we said we had to do a short one this week. Look, I'm struggling. I'm struggling that I can't do this for you. It's just going to have to wait till next week. Yeah, I'll tell you what. A bit next week. Chisel it into stone. Well, I mean, maybe not next week, because next week is going to kind of be a different episode. So it's going to be more of an evergreen episode.
Uh-huh.
But the episode after that was the 23rd, I think. May 23rd episode. You can count on it.
So in your
be in the A bit.
Sure. Yeah, I'm not
A bit. I might have 2 reviews for you.
Yeah, okay. Here, we're going to do this again.
And that's like, 16 days away.
Yeah. Plenty of time.
I might watch all the movies again.
There we go.
I might go back and re-review them.
It's just ridiculous.
All right, at Stephen Kyle, Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, if you are going to be in Green Bay, because you said we have somebody for Harris, Michigan, correct?
Michigan is covered. If you're a Green Bay local or going to the Green Bay show from somewhere nearby and you've not held the Fathead before, please let us know. If you'd be willing to hold the Kyle Fathead, loud and proud again, that is June 16th, if I remember right, Steve. Morning and night show.
So far, it has made 0 appearances.
Yes.
This year. Despite our I won't say our best efforts,
despite our minimal efforts.
Mediocre efforts.
That will be, please let us know if we can get that thing over to Green Bay, Wisconsin in the next month. I would love to see that out there.
All right. Looking forward to that. Talk to you next week. See ya.